Oh man, last night I had a nice big old juicy steak, man. It was quite delicious. Man, my mom makes some good steak. It was quite delicious. Oh wait, I shouldn't be talking about that so soon after seeing this movie, right? Hey, what's up, you guys? Film fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Okja. So, Okja stars An San Hun, Tilda Swinton, Paul Dano, Stephen Yang, Lily Collins, and Jake Gyllenhaal. And what this film is basically about. It's about a girl, and what happens is she has a really big attachment to this kind of like rhino, not like rhino kind of hippo kind of hybrid thing named Okja. And when this government takes Okja to basically eat him, she now has to try and get Okja back. So, what did I think of Okja? Now, Okja I went in with a lot of expectations because, one, it was being directed by the same guy who did Snowpiercer, and I love Snowpiercer a lot. That was such a fantastic movie, in my opinion, so I could not wait to see what this director was going to do next. Had a pretty good cast to it. It was going to be a Netflix original movie, so I couldn't wait to see what they did with this movie. And what did I think of it? You know, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, this was one of those rare movies where, because usually after I watch a film, I know exactly what my thoughts are. I didn't know really what to think of this movie at first. I really didn't. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. After I was done watching it, I was just like, huh. Like, I was just like, huh. How do I take this in, really? Like, it was just, I sat down. I had to really sit down and think about it because I like literally I just sat there for about like 20 minutes just thinking about the movie, and it was just like, and honestly, the more I thought about this movie, the more I hated it. This is an awful movie, in my opinion. I know it's been getting praise all over the board. I know everybody's been loving this movie, loving it. Me, I don't get it. I don't. I really don't. This is a really bad movie. It is a really just bland and bad movie, to be completely honest with you. I really did not enjoy Okja. Okja is a pretty awful film, in my opinion. But I do have positives with the film, so let's get into those first. So the positives are, first being, some of the acting is really good in the movie. I thought some people did a very good job, in my opinion. Basically, the whole team of like Paul Dano, Stephen Yang, and Lily Collins, and everybody else that was involved with that animal, protection, team and whatever was really good. I really enjoyed those characters. Those were great. I really enjoyed them. Like, I thought Paul Dano was great. I enjoyed him in the film. He was really good. Stephen Yang, who was probably my favorite character in the entire film. Just the dude was just so darn likable. He really was. And I just enjoyed him. He did a really good job. And, Stephen Yang, he was just very good in the movie. I really enjoyed him. Lily Collins was good, too. I enjoyed her in the film. Jake Gyllenhaal was great. Jake Gyllenhaal was fantastic. I could see why some people would say his performance was a little too over the top. But, what he had to do with that character was quite great. And I just quite enjoyed him. He was so funny. And I just thought he was glorious in every moment he was in. And I just loved Jake Gyllenhaal in the film. I thought he was great. There is one scene in the movie that I did think was actually quite exciting. I can't talk about it because of spoilers and everything, but I will say that one sequence was actually quite exciting, and I really enjoyed it a lot. I will say that was a pretty exciting sequence. And lastly, I do think the directing with the movie is quite good. It really is. I think the movie is very well shot, very well edited. The cinematography is gorgeous. I think Bong Hong-yen, I believe that's how you say his name, I do think he did a very good job directing this movie. It is a well-directed film. So yeah, he does a great job with the directing with this movie. Now let's get into the negatives, because I do have a lot of negatives with Okja, and the negatives are, first being, some of the acting is not that good in this movie. It really is. It really is not. And the biggest fault with this movie is Anso Hen, or however you say her name, who plays the main character, Mia. Mia, I believe. That's the character's name. And she just wasn't good. I'm sorry, she did not give a convincing performance to me. She was just bland as all hell. Like, literally, she was not convincing any emotion. Like, she really wasn't. She conveyed no emotion to me. Like, seriously, she conveyed no emotion, and that's a big problem for this movie. She really conveyed no emotion to me, and she just makes the same facial expression throughout the entirety of the film. Like, literally, she literally has no emotion to her whatsoever, or any range, to be completely honest, as an actress, and I did not enjoy her in this movie. She really fails as a main character, and she was so uninteresting. I found the side characters way more interesting than I did our lead character, and that's a big problem. I did not think Mia was a good lead character at all, and, you know, the actress who plays her does not do a good job of conveying emotion or conveying range to her role. She really does not. So yeah, and Tilda Swinton is not that good either. I mean, I like Tilda Swinton. I think she's a great actress, but here, I don't know what the heck she was doing. Like, it seemed like she was trying to be a cartoon at points during this movie. Like, she was not good in this film. Like, not good. Not good. She was really not good in this movie. She just seemed way too over the top. Like, she really did. And she just seemed like she was in a cartoon for the majority of the film. So, yeah. Next up being the story. The story is so bland and forgettable. It is not that interesting. And not to mention that it's all over the place as well. Like, holy moly, the story can be a real big mess. It really can be. Like, first we're trying to focus on this girl trying to get Okja back. Then we're focusing on this animal protection program. Then we're focusing on this company. Like, it's so all over the place. And there's movies that have multiple stories going on that can work. But however, this is not one of those movies. It just felt so all over the place to me. It really felt like such a disjointed story. It really did. And not to mention that it's not interesting in the slightest to me. I was not, like, it's such a boring story. Like, it really was. It was not interesting at all. If your main character and your story are not working for this movie, that is a big red flag right there. And will probably show for the rest of the film. And it does, because, yeah, the story is not that great. I did not buy into Okja and Mia's kind of relationship. I did not buy into it whatsoever. Like, they didn't show me, like, that these two had a bond. Like, it just, to me, this movie did not do a good job of really showing that these two really care for each other and really have a bond with each other. Like, it just, the movie really fails at that. And really, like, doesn't make you care whatsoever, honestly, what happens to either two characters, because the relationship is not that well handled, in my opinion. It's so kind of just meh. Like, it's just so, it's not good. Like, it's not handled in a very good way. It's just, you know, it wasn't really that good. I didn't really buy into it. They didn't really handle it all that well. Some people are comparing this movie to E.T. I think that's a little bit of an unfair comparison, really, but they are. Here's the thing with E.T. You believe that friendship with Henry Thomas and E.T. You believe that relationship. You get sad when E.T. has to be taken away. Like, you get sad because of that. Because you know that's his friend. Like, that worked in the movie. They did a great job of building their relationship in that movie. Here, they don't. They don't at all. They do not do a good job, in my opinion, of building their relationship and really showing that Mia really cares for Okja. Like, I really didn't think they did a good job with that. And probably my biggest problem with this movie, the message of this movie is supposed to be, eating animals is bad. I could get behind that message, and showing what really could happen with, what goes on in the meat industry and why, animals shouldn't be abused and, be eaten. I could, I can understand that. I could see what they're trying to do, absolutely. But I don't like it when it's shoved down my throat almost every minute. Holy crap. They shoved this message down about how, oh, it's bad to eat animals. Like, oh, you're a bad person for eating animals. Let me show you how bad of a person you are for eating animals. Like, it was so force-fed to you. Like, so shoved down your throat at the point where I was really getting mad. Like, it was so shoved down your throat, the message in this movie. It was like they were taking, I guess you could say taking, like, their fist and just shoving it down your throat. That's exactly how this message was in this movie. Now, I like it when messages are genuine in movies. When they're genuine, not when they're forced down your throat every second. And that's exactly what this movie does, and that's my biggest problem with this film. It gets way too preachy, and I was just like, just shut up already, because I was like, holy crap, it's so shoved down your throat. And apparently, I'm not the only one that feels like this. There were some other people that felt like this too, that they felt like the message was shoved down their throats as well. And yeah, it shows big time. It really does. The message was just so shoved down your throat in this film. So yeah. Next up, the writing is not that good. It's just a mess, the writing. The dialogue that some of these characters have to say are not that good. It's just, the writing could be really, really bad at points during this movie. And not to mention that this movie is so boring! Holy moly. Like, this movie is 2 hours and 1 minute. And it felt like 3 hours. Seriously, this movie moved at such an incredibly slow pace that I nearly almost fell asleep at least 4 times during this movie. Like, it is so boring because, when your main character's uninteresting and your whole story's uninteresting, yeah, the movie's gonna be kind of boring. And it was. It was really boring. Like, it drags on forever. Like, there's a one scene that happens in this movie and you think, oh, this is, this is like the big finale. This is how the movie's gonna end. And you realize there's like another 25 minutes to this movie and you're like, when will it end? Like, you were seriously like that. I was like that at one point. I'm like, when will this end? Like, it just drags on forever. Seriously, it really does. So overall, Okja, I really don't get the praise with it. It's a really bad movie, in my opinion, of course. That's just what I think. I honestly think Okja is a really awful mess of a movie, and it's just not good. I did not enjoy it at all. It is not that good of a film, in my opinion. I did not enjoy Okja. So it's time for my official grade on Okja. My official grade on Okja is a D+. This is an awful movie. Besides Jake Gyllenhaal and all the guys in the Animal Protection Program team that were good, and that one scene that was exciting, and the directing, everything else about this movie is just complete and utter garbage. It's awful. It's a terrible movie. I really don't get the praise with it. This is my most overrated movie of the year so far. Like, I don't get the praise for a second. It's so bad that I was baffled of how awful this movie was. It really, seriously. I did not enjoy Okja. It's a really terrible movie in my opinion, and it definitely deserves a D+. So, if you have seen Okja, what did you think of it? Leave in the comment section below. And I'm FilmFan0599, and we'll see you all later. Peace.